Alright, so here we are with lesson 14.3c, right triangle trigonometry, and we're going to do a little warm-up here with some SOHCAHTOA again. We want to find the sine of A, which is opposite over hypotenuse again, so going from A, just like we did yesterday, the sine of A opposite over hypotenuse, that's going to be 3/5, and then the cosine of A is adjacent over hypotenuse, that's going to be 4/5. Tangent of A is opposite over adjacent, that's going to be 3/4. Alright, we can do sine B, cosine B, and tangent B also. Take a quick look at those. Sine B is going to be opposite over a hypotenuse, so the opposite of B is 4. Cosine B, adjacent over hypotenuse, 3/5. And tangent of B, opposite over adjacent. There we go. Alright, so today we're going to look at some similar stuff to yesterday, but we're going to tweak one little piece here, which you'll see in a minute. We have some information about right triangle ABC here again. We want to find side C, so the first thing I'm going to do is label everything I got. Alright, I do know that B is 60, which means automatically A is 30. Again, right triangles always add up to 180 on the inside. Okay, so the 30 is what I put in there. Alright, if I'm going to look for side C here, alright, this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. There is no sine, cosine, or tangent needed, but it could still work. Okay, so we could do just like we did yesterday, or I can use one of my 30, 60, 90 formulas here. So I have two of them. Short leg times 2 equals hypotenuse, or short leg times √3 equals long leg. Alright? So if we look at what we know here, we know the long leg, so I would start on the right side with that formula. Again, you'll notice I put A in here because I'm missing side A over here. Alright, and so I could just simply find side A first, so A times √3 equals 12. Remember, short leg times √3 equals long leg. If I solve for A and I rationalize here, I get 4 √3 for A. Now, why did I do that? They didn't ask for A. Because now I know to find C, I go to my other formula and I just multiply A times 2 and I'm done. And C is 8 √3. Okay? So just to let you know, we could have also done this with, I'm going to go from the 60 that was given. So I could have done this, oops, here we go. I could have done this with, let's see, if I go from 60 and I use my opposite over hypotenuse, that would be a sine. So we could have done sine of 60 equals 12 over C. And so if I wanted to solve that, I would have to get the C out of the denominator here. So the first thing I would do is multiply both sides by C. And that means that I would have C sine 60 on the left. On the right, the C's are going to cancel, leaving me 12. If I divide both sides by sine 60, I get C equals 12 divided by sine of 60. Alright, so if we take our calculator again here, let's see if I can grab my calculator. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my calculator here. And we're going to go to our fraction key. Alpha y equals number 1. We're going to punch in 12 in the numerator, sine 60 in the denominator, close up our parentheses, hit enter, and we get 13.856. Now, my original C value was 8 √3. So I'm going to check and see if that's the same value. I'm going to pop in 8 square √3, hit enter, and the calculator gives me the exact same value, so I must be good here. Alright, so 13.9 is our total here. Okay, so a couple different ways you could do that one. Alright, let's keep moving on here. Next part. Okay, given right triangle ABC with angle A equals 50 and A equals 4, side A equals 4, find side C. Okay, so here we go. First thing I'm going to do is label everything. I'm supposed to find side C, so we know angle A, and we know the opposite side. We need to find the hypotenuse. So again, I look for what fits with the opposite hypotenuse. That's going to be sine. So I've got sine 50 equals 4 over c. So again, I've got c in the denominator. I can't do that. I need to get c up in the numerator. So I'm going to cross multiply. All right, so if it helps, you put the sine 50 over 1, and you cross multiply sine 50 times c and 1 times 4, and you set those equal to each other. All right? If you divide out the sine 50 on both sides and pop that in your calculator, you should get c equals 5.2. All right, why don't you try this one, see what you can do with this, and then come back when you're done. All right, so maybe you get stuck on this one because now I have no angles. All right, so let's see how far you got anyway. All right, so find angle A. All right, so I'm supposed to find angle A up at the top here. I'm gonna go ahead and mark that angle. All right, this time I have no angle, but I have two sides. I have the opposite side and the adjacent side. That fits with tangent, okay? So I just want to ask yourself, which trig function fits with the information that I have? So I'm going to try a tangent. Now, I don't know what A is, but I do know that the opposite side is 4 and the adjacent is 5. Here's the new part for today. How do I get rid of tangent and leave the A there? Okay, so I'm going to stop and pause here for a second and just, kind of explain some other things that we already know. If I said, okay guys, what's, 2x equal to 7, how do you solve that? Everybody would say divide by 2. That's the opposite or inverse operation. Okay, every time we're trying to solve, we're always undoing things in the equation. Those are called inverse operations. If I want to subtract to both sides, that's the inverse of adding to both sides. So the inverse of tangent is tangent inverse. Okay, we'll get to the calculator in a minute and show you how to do this. So you take out, you take the tangent inverse of both sides. Okay, on the left side, those two guys cancel each other out. They're opposite operations. So now all I have on the left side is A equals tangent inverse. Okay, so now we're going to get out the calculator and find out how I got 43 degrees here. So we'll go back to calculator. Here we go. So in my calculator, I want to take, all right, so to do a tangent inverse here, we're going to hit the second key, then we're going to hit the tangent key, and then we're going to pop in our fraction. So I can go over here to alpha y equals, grab myself a fraction. I can type 4 in the top and 5 in the bottom, and close up the parentheses, and I get, whoa, 38.7. Looks like I possibly have a wrong answer over here. Good thing we checked it in the calculator, huh? So 38.7 should be my answer. So we need to get rid of this guy right here. This is 38.7 degrees. Okay. All right. All right, to solve a right triangle means to find the measure of all 3 angles and all 3 sides. This example says, solve the triangle. So I'm going to start by labeling. Okay, we're in a similar situation to what we saw before, but I don't know the angles inside. There's still a third side out there. Doesn't matter where you start. So I started with side A. Okay, all I did was some Pythagorean theorem to find side A. Okay. Once I know side A, I can find either angle A or angle B. So, again, I would pause the video, stop and solve, at least try one of them, either angle A or angle B. All right, I'm going to look for angle B. So sine of B would be opposite over hypotenuse again, so I'm using the 25 and the 30. To solve that, I'm going to have to take the sine inverse of both sides. Okay. Now when I do that, the sine inverse and the sine cancel each other out. I grab my calculator and I pop that in there, and I get 56.4. Let's make sure this one's all right. All right. So I'm going to check this one out here. So I'm going to do the second key and the sine key, and then alpha y equals number 1. I'm going to do 25 divided by 30. Looking outside the fraction, close up the parentheses, hit enter, 56.4. So I was correct on this one. All right. Once I know B, all I got to do is subtract angle B from 90 degrees, or I take 180 and subtract 90 and subtract 56.4. All right, your turn. Turn off the video, try it again. All right, so there's your sides, 2 and 3. Start off by solving for side C. And then you pick an angle, either A or B, it didn't matter. Tangent of B is 3/2. We're going to do a tangent inverse on both sides, which is going to cancel those guys. And we get B equals 62.6. Therefore, A is 27.7. And we are done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, check out your assignment.